Your product schema supports different currencies. Products can list their price in either US dollars, Euro dollars, or British pounds sterling. You may be wondering, how will you be able to ensure a consistent sort order when products have different currencies? For instance, 95 euros would be less than $100 in March 2015. However, as the euro rebounded against the dollar, 95 euros would be more than 100 US dollars in May 2015. Your REST API will be able to account for these differences and ensure that products are sorted using a recent exchange rate. How will the REST API do this? By utilizing the store what you query for principle. In order to ensure consistency when sorting by price, what you want is a numeric field that represents the price of the product in a fixed currency. This approximate price USD field will represent the product's price in US dollars. With mongoose and a set of exchange rates, you'll be able to keep the product's price in sync with the product's price in USD, which will enable you to sort by price effectively. The mongoose feature that will enable you to do this is custom setters. With custom setters, you can tell mongoose to perform certain operations every time the value of a certain field is set. In this case, every time somebody sets the price.amount field, mongoose executes this function. In this case, this function updates the internal.approximate price USD property to reflect the changes in the price.amount. The way your schema computes the internal.approximate price USD field is by taking the provided price and dividing it by the exchange rate defined by this fx function. The custom setter for price.currency works in a similar way, only it uses the newly set currency and the current value of price.amount. The exchange rate is pulled from this fx function, and the fx function is required in from a file called fx.js. Let's take a look at what fx.js looks like. As you can see, this fx file exports a function that returns some hard-coded exchange rates that are reasonable approximations. In the REST API chapter, you will make this dynamic, but for this example, the hard-coded rates are sufficient. Now that you've seen how the fx function works, let's see this custom setter in action. In this example, you create a new product, much like in previous examples. Then you can start manipulating the price and currency and see what happens to the internal.approximate price USD field. Initially, price.amount is 5 and price.currency is USD. That means that internal.approximate price USD is initially 5. When you change price.amount to 88, internal.approximate price USD gets updated to 88 as well. Now when you do something tricky and change the currency to euros, internal.approximate price USD gets updated to 80, which is 88 divided by 1.1, which is the exchange rate defined in fx.js. After that, when you change the price.amount to 11, internal.approximate price USD becomes 10, which is 11 divided by 1.1. The power of custom setters is that you don't have to do anything special in the code that uses the product schema. You don't have to call any functions or even be aware of the fact that internal.approximate price USD is changing. The mongoose schema abstracts away that layer of business logic, so all you're doing is setting properties and mongoose takes care of the rest.